Hello, and welcome to the Beginner's Guide to Genshin Impact. My name is Azuark, and today it's high time we finally talk about the geography of Genshin Impact. The land of Teyvat is broken into 7 nations, each corresponding with one of the 7 elements. The nations are ruled by a deity known as an Archon, who serves as the living embodiment of that element. Each of these nations represents 1 year of Genshin Impact's release, with the exception of Mondstadt, which was simply available at launch. And each was inspired by cultures in our world. And so, for a 7-minute video, I'd like to spend 60 seconds talking about each. Our adventure begins in Mondstadt, a land of fairy tales and freedom. Inspired by Germanic and Norse traditions, every playable character here is either a throwback to an earthen legend, an in-game legend, or a future region. Mondstadt, more a city-state than an actual nation, is the land of bards and wine, and has no actual central government, and seemingly no active deity. The closest they have to the rule of law is the military order, the Knights of Favonius, currently led by acting Grandmaster Jean Gunhilder. The actual Grandmaster is away on an expedition with half the knights, leaving Mondstadt vulnerable to the Storm Terror crisis. The land of Anemo features wide rolling hills, vineyards, and open forests for hunting. Additionally, Mondstadt includes the side region of Dragonspine, an enormous icy mountain. Mondstadt is located in the northeastern portion of the map. Mondstadt's southern neighbor, Liyue, is the land of Geo. Their Archon, Rex Lapis, created the nation over 3 millennia ago with the assistance of the Adepti, enlightened beasts with capabilities far superior to humans. Still, it is the humans who primarily function throughout its lands today. Liyue Harbor is the seat of commerce throughout the land, home to the only mint, and is known as the Land of Contracts. Though the in-game version of Liyue boasts only 1 city and 1 rural village, it is implied that Liyue is one of the largest, most prosperous nations, despite much of its land being covered in craggy mountains. The humans are ruled by a council of merchants known as the Qixing, and protected by their soldier force, the Millelith. Liyue has 2 important side regions, the vast and currently abandoned mining complex known as the Chasm, and the fertile river valley of Chenyu Vale. In the ocean to the far southeast is Inazuma, a land patterned after the Edo period of Japan. The Raiden Shogun has enacted 2 decrees which seal the borders of her lands and confiscate all elemental visions. Though she is known as the God of Eternity and rules the land directly, the Shogun is seldom seen, with members of the Tri-Commission serving as her surrogates, tending to matters of military, of civil affairs, and of culture. Present-day Inazuma is an incredibly inhospitable place to outsiders, and it is important for new players to note that it is the one nation you will not be able to travel to immediately. Even when you do gain access to the first island in the archipelago, many of the other areas will remain gated. Navigating Inazuma will also sometimes require the use of boat travel. Residents of Watatsumi Island have staged a rebellion because the people of Inazuma suffered too, under the rule of the Shogun, and your arrival in Inazuma will be into an active war zone with many inhospitable environments. The 4th nation of Teyvat is Sumeru, in the south-central portion of the map. Sumeru is split into 2 distinct sections, the Dharma Rainforest in the east, and the Great Red Sand in the west. The rainforest, which draws inspirations from India, is home to the Academia, an organization of scholars whose pursuit of wisdom often extends to absurdity. However, the people of Sumeru have access to the Akasha, which provides immediate knowledge directly to their brains, and take it as a point of pride that nobody in the land dreams. Nominally, the Academia house the Dendro god within their confines, but they have little respect for Lesser Lord Kusanali, seeing her as an inadequate replacement for her predecessor, Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. The sages of the Academia have an incredible amount of hubris, and have assumed leadership over the land, treating knowledge as a currency to the extent that ordinary people are not allowed to own books. On the other side of the Wall of Samil is a vast, expansive desert, once home to various ruined civilizations, and now home to wandering nomads known as the Eremites, who are known for their martial prowess, but are not otherwise well respected within Sumeru. In the very center of Teyvat is Fontaine, the source of all waters. Curiously, Fontaine is seated on a massive plate high above the rest of Teyvat, and can only be accessed at 3 ports where massive elevator shafts have been constructed. Officially, Fontaine is the land of justice, and is known for having a wide variety of esoteric laws. However, it is also the seat of high culture, of fashion, and of advanced technology. The guards of Fontaine are heavily supplemented by clockwork soldiers. The most important landmark for all Fontainians is the Opera Epiclese, where trials are staged as matters of entertainment, presided over the Iudex Nouvellette and judged by the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal, a machine built by their archon, Faucillors. Faucillors attends most trials personally, seen as more of a celebrity than a ruler by her people, as she often leads public opinion over the outcome of the trials. Meanwhile, Fontaine is also a land of engineers, despite their Institute of Technology currently lying, and floating, in shambles. Perhaps the most noteworthy part of your visit to Fontaine, however, is the purity of the waters, allowing you to dive indefinitely and explore the regions below the waves. Sadly, this feature is unique to Fontaine. The far southwest corner of Teyvat is occupied by Natlan, a nation comprised of 6 tribes who are forever fighting to stave off incursions of the Abyss. Because of this, and the warding systems their people have designed, citizens of Natlan seldom if ever leave their borders. Their presence is needed to generate primal fire to keep their nation protected. Annually, they hold a grand tournament to determine the best fighters, who will then enter a mirrored dimension known as the Night Kingdom to further protect their homeland. Select members of their society have been gifted with a title known as an ancient name, which is passed down throughout generations, the bearers chosen by a spiritual force known as the Wyop. Natlan is also known as the Land of Dragons, though no true dragons remain. Domesticated lizards reside throughout, with one species closely associated with each of the tribes, who each have their own distinct identities. As of this recording, Natlan has only recently been added to the game, and relatively little is known about it, so anything further I say here would be spoiling the story. The final nation, currently inaccessible, is Snezhnaya, the Land of Cryo. That hardly means their nation's presence has not been felt. Snezhnaya is the largest nation and arguably the most prosperous, with a very robust military, diplomatic corps, financial sector, and understanding of means to control the elements. While other nations' residents can only harness a single element if the gods have granted them a vision, some citizens of Snezhnaya use special tools called delusions to accomplish the same end. The land's leader, the Tsaritsa, has been enacting a plan to push back against the higher gods that have shaped Teyvat into the world it is now, and is using any means necessary to achieve her goals. To that end, she has an elite force known as the Fatui, who she has sent to the other nations to influence their affairs and attempt to gain advantage. She is especially interested in trying to acquire the other Archon's Gnosis, the symbols of their power, and if that means sending her most powerful subjects, the Harbingers, to seize each Gnosis for herself, then so be it. It is unsurprising that the story of Genshin will largely culminate with the Tsaritsa's plans, which we'll need to wait an entire year still for us to find out about. And this concludes a very brief glance at each of the 7 nations. Yep, all 7. Absolutely nothing else. No hidden 8th nation, or a floating city in the sky, or any nonsense like that. And Teyvat is a totally perfectly normal planet, absolutely. But as someone who does watch a lot of the lore theorist channels, it's nice to finally be able to talk just a smidge about the world building. So if this is something you want to see more of beyond what is minimally necessary to play the game, let me know. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.